Hey everyone, I'm Brian.
And I'm Nikki.
And we are Cooking with the Cotas. I'm a finance guy with barely any cooking experience.
And I'm a registered dietitian with professional culinary training.
And together, we're going to teach you and me how to cook in the kitchen.
So today we are making gnocchi.
Not to be confused with gnocchi, which is incorrect.
Yeah, think of like no keys, like you don't have your keys.
Different than Nokia, which is now pretty much irrelevant.
So gnocchi originates from Italy. It is a small dumpling that could be made from potato, semolina, which is the type of wheat, or a regular white flour.
Wait, so potatoes are starchy? I always thought they were vegetables.
French fries don't count as a vegetable.
I disagree. When you dip your French fry in tomatoes, that's having two vegetables. But we'll circle back to that later.
So we're making the potato version today. You can buy this in the store in the frozen section, or you can get dried gnocchi and boil them, but making it yourself is just more special and a treat once in a while that you can make for yourself and your family.
And she says it's simple to do, which is a plus for me.
So let's show you our mise en place. Everything in its place. We have our potatoes, which is the most important ingredient for this dish. We're using 5 small potatoes here, or if you have a more medium-sized potato, 4 would be good. We're using russet potatoes here because the russets are a bit more starchy, and that's very important in creating our gnocchi. We have our egg and flour, which is going to be used to make our dough. We have butter and sage. Sage brings this gnocchi a really good flavor when it's sauteed with the butter and the gnocchi at the end. And that's a very traditional version of this dish. You can make gnocchi with a lot of different sauces if you like doing pesto or some kind of tomato-based sauce. But we're just doing a basic version today with the butter and sage. And then finally, we're gonna top it at the end with some shaved parmesan.
We have our potatoes already prepared, so let's talk about the process that we did.
So first, we washed our potatoes under running water. We scrubbed them really well to get all of that residual dirt that may be on the potatoes. Then we put the potatoes with the skin on in a large pot with water, and we brought that up to a boil. Once it reached a boil, we turned it down to a simmer and we covered the pot, and then we let that cook for about 20 minutes or so. If there's smaller potatoes, it may be a little less time, larger potatoes a little bit more. But note that we did keep the skin on the potatoes. The reason for that is because we wanted the least amount of moisture to be seeping into the potatoes while they're being cooked, because that does affect the texture of our gnocchi. So we didn't peel them and we didn't slice them in half or in quarters. Finally, once they're done and you can stick a fork easily into the potato, we are going to peel them. And we're just going to use a spoon to peel them just because the skin will easily come off, and we don't need a potato peeler at this point because the skin is very soft. And then finally, we are going to put all the peeled potatoes into a bowl, and we're going to mash them using a potato masher. You can use a potato ricer, or you can also use a hand mixture and get the potato pieces very fine as well. But a potato masher works just as well.
At the end of this, the goal is to have mashed potatoes, basically, following these instructions so that you have the right starchy consistency you're looking for to be able to correctly make the gnocchi.
Definitely. Some may suggest using leftover mashed potatoes for the gnocchi, but oftentimes mashed potatoes have a lot of different additives, whether it's cream or butter or milk or whatnot. So I would just advise you to boil the potatoes as we're doing and mash just as I mentioned, rather than using leftovers for this. So let's show you how to get this dough prepared. you cook your potatoes, there may be some pieces of the potato that don't mash all the way, so they're very small. So we actually did have a little bit of those in ours, and that may prevent the dough from sticking together and cause it to break up a little bit. So that's just something to be aware of, and make sure that you do cook your potatoes fully. And if the dough does seem to break up a little bit, you can dip your hands in a little bit of water like I'm doing, just to help moisten it and keep it together.
You know what they say, whatever floats your gnocchi. We have everything plated. We paired our gnocchi with a salad that not only brings color to the plate, but pairs vegetables and some chickpeas for protein with the potatoes that are essentially in the gnocchi. We've also covered it with some grated Parmesan cheese and some extra sage pieces for added color and presentation. These are nice little, basically potato lumpy bites that are delicious and a great pairing with a healthy side salad, and this is a nice, well-balanced meal as well.
Yeah, and you can use other sauces for the gnocchi. If you want to use a jarred sauce that you have on hand just for convenience, that's perfectly fine. As I mentioned before, you can do a pesto sauce. You can even do like a vodka sauce. That pairs really well. So there's options. And you can also make this into a meal with vegetables sauteed with the gnocchi in the pan. That works too, but we wanted to show you a very basic version today.
Well, thank you again so much for tuning into this week's Cooking with the Cotas. As always, let us know what you want to see from us, and we would be more than happy to try some new things and to show you how to make something else delicious that you would love to have. Thanks again.
We hope you enjoyed cooking with us today. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to our page, turn on those notifications, and let us know of any new recipes you want us to make.